our first time meeting people that haven't been here in quite a while. So very happy to have all of you here, and we're excited to start our new year together. I am Susan Moeller. I am your newly elected president of the chapter. Thank you all. I thought we would get started today by everybody just going around and introducing themselves, and maybe just sharing one idea you have for something that you would like to see our chapter do, if not this year, in the coming years. Okay. So yeah, and if you don't know, or you're like, I'm on the spot, I can't think that quickly, no worries. You can always write to me later, and you can just say that you're open to various things we might want to do. Okay, but I just want to open the floor for that. So, and now, if you are a board member, please also mention that as well, so that everybody knows who our board members are. So, David, do you mind starting?
That's what you get for sitting in front.
I'm David Dahlgren. I'm the newsletter editor. Anytime you have anything you want to tell me about yourself, I'm trying to put things in there that help us introduce ourselves to the other members too. So you can send that little blurb, maybe a picture of you or your work. You know, if I get too many of them, that would be a wonderful thing. I can always keep them for future, you know. I'll spread them out through the newsletters. But that's who I am.
Thank you, Dave.
I'm Emily Whiteford. I'm the treasurer. You want to give me money? Okay. I will tell you, if somebody has like their membership check or wants to do something like that today, I can take that for you. It's just something I'd like to see. It'd be kind of nice to see something with watercolor pencils. I haven't dealt with those before.
Awesome. Well, I brought some watercolor pencils if you want to try them for our experimental session once we're done with all this business stuff. And Emily's also going to be handling our raffle, so she'll be telling you about that in a few minutes. Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
I'm Tracy Frein. I've been on several positions of this board. I've been president, treasurer, as well as treasurer, on exhibitions, workshops. I'm now on the convention director for the national board. What I like to see, I've never been a person that likes to come to the chapter meetings and everybody draws, but I've really kind of come around to thinking differently about it. So yeah, I'd like to see more of maybe an informal meeting where everybody brings a piece in and shares a piece and we all work on it. It's so nice to walk around and see how people work and the styles they work in and what they use. And I'm so glad to have you here.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Bogar, and I am the new secretary. And so, take notes. So the job is well done. And I think there's a few things I would like to see. And one for our chapter to do is maybe start talking early about a chapter project to put into the international convention, so we have time to work on it and get it together, so that it doesn't seem quite as overwhelming, and so our chapter has something to show at the convention. I think that would be really nice. And then I also newly heard about neocolor crayons, so I'd like to find out more about those and combining them with colored pencils.
Make notes. No, it is. Thank you, Jeannie.
My name is Bob. I'm not really a colored pencil artist. I come with my wife. I'm a collage artist. I like hanging out with artists, so that's why I'm here. And if you have any old vintage paper, anything you want to get rid of, get my number. I'll take it. And if you all got dinner for beer, I'd probably go.
On the other hand, on Barb, I would like to see a well, not, and then just have questions
studios, and you can follow them with questions on how they're used or all kinds of things. Lots of different things.
Awesome. All right, great. Love it. Thank you.
I'm Bobby Brown. As far as what I would like to see, possibly more exhibitions, group exhibitions. I love this location. Anywhere in the area is perfect for me to live in St. Charles.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you.
I'm Leslie Smith, long ago past membership director. What I would like to see, this is kind of far out, I was involved recently with, introductory teaching of young children, like from kindergarten through 5th grade. And that really excited me to do that, so maybe something that I have to teach young children, because those are the up and coming harvest of the future.
All right. Thank you for that. That's a great idea.
I'm Linda Hildebrand. I was past president during COVID years, so yeah, we didn't get together perhaps as often as we would have liked to. One thing that I'd like to see is Tracy had come up with this amazing outing at the zoo project that we never were able to put together fully, but doing some drawing of the animals outside, and then taking some photographs along the way, and then using the photographs to help with the final drawings and so on and so forth. I'd love to see, not necessarily the zoo, but the zoo's great because you get a chance to look at animals that you wouldn't normally see, dogs and cats, and the side that we have in our own. But I think that would be a lovely outing to do as a group.
Yeah, thank you. I remember that a few years ago. I signed up, but not too many other people did.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Yeah, the timing didn't work out for a lot of people to go, and the weather was getting hot really soon, and so there was some hesitancy about that, but anyway. It wouldn't have to necessarily be the zoo either, but there's an antique car and train site in Union, lots of unique looking buildings and structures and, train cars and things like that. A lot of different types of things to draw that you wouldn't necessarily see on your street or around the house. So, things like that. Something fun.
Kimberly Malarkey, and I had all these ideas, but those guys said.
Great minds think alike, so that's fantastic. All right, thank you.
You're past president.
Barb Backley, and there are two things that I'd be interested in. One are methods of blending, other than the physical stumps and so forth, but some of the other things that are out there I'm familiar with, so maybe experiences on those things. And I'm looking at Linda's and thinking, I would love something on how to limit your palette, because sometimes, there's too much, too many toys.
Right. Awesome, thank you.
I'm Pam Bernard, and I'm in charge of the membership, so I'd like to encourage everybody to start renewing, because we only have 6 that have signed up for this upcoming membership, so. Get busy. My name is on the sheet, you can mail it to me, you can do it on the internet, whatever is easiest for you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Kathy McLean, I'm relatively new to this process, this is my 2nd year, so I appreciate learning from everybody, and any demonstrations that will aid to my knowledge, I appreciate it.
Sandy Wyland, a lot of the ideas are already taken, but, I don't get along with Durlar, so this one's gonna be a good one for me.
Awesome, thank you.
I'm Debbie Borjano, and I met Andy about 11 years ago and brought me into the world of colored pencils, and it's the best hobby I've ever had. And I'm I'm on a mission to own every single pencil.
Well,
And
there's.
to make it work.
Easily done.
Yes.
Easily done.
You know, I'm getting yes, I know, I know.
Except that bit.
But it was,
I'm your nearest competition.
I don't use mine as well as you do, but I'm trying.
Thank you.
I'm Gina Bedford, and I'm just kind of here to see what's available and learn things and kind of expand. I do Prismacolor, but I like to do other events, other color type of pencils and paper. I did do the journal, what do you call it?
Draft film?
Yeah. And it's like the other woman said, it's kind of not that my thing, but I want to learn and so I can master it better.
Thank you, and Gina, we talked about this, because you're a skilled portrait artist, is my understanding.
Kind of.
And you volunteered for hospice
I did, I
organization, right?
volunteered, for, hospice patients, I do their portraits or would like one for the families, and it's very rewarding, so.
And they're looking for more
And they're looking
volunteers.
for volunteers to do
Artists.
realistic portraits, not volunteer. I can give you the number.
Yeah, we did the issue.
Sure. Absolutely.
The name of the organization is?
Alara Caring, Lara Caring, and it's on Tinley Park.
Hi, my name's Jen Wallace, and, I'm a newbie, and, I'm not sure what everything you guys do, but I'm excited about learning new techniques, because in my artwork, I do all sorts of, different medium and stuff, and so it'd be great to learn more, techniques with the color pencils.
Fabulous, thank you. And Jen, I met Jen just last week at an art fair in Warrenville.
Oh, she's the one who's drawn.
Yeah. And I program 3 people. Thank you, Jen.
Hi, I'm Jill Fullerton. I've been thinking about the ideas, and then some of them are the same one, some people said. And I haven't been to the meetings that much. This is my second one, so I don't know if you have done a lot of solvents, pencil and solvent together. I normally use OMS, and Tracy, you use terpenoid?
Terpenoid?
Yes, so, and then you explain the difference between terpenoid and OMS a little bit at your workshop, but it's really tricky how long, how much you use and how long you wait before you blend, and so I appreciate it if we could do a little bit more hands-on kind of demonstration. Yeah.
We were gonna do that at the convention, but, there was a problem with bringing all of that solvent in there and doing that all in a small room, so we couldn't do it.
Oh, the fume, yes, that's what I teach classes, and I have the same problem, yes, so.
We did it outside on the road. But thank you for
But
that.
do they have odorless?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
It
it's
doesn't
still
mean
harmful,
it's
yeah,
still-
yeah, it bothers my throat, myself.
I huff it all the time.
That's why I smile.
Praise the Lord.
Thank you, Michio.
I'm Andy Burchett, and two things. I'm gonna jump on what Bobby said. You had mentioned maybe like a mid-year show or something. I think it would be really fun to do a themed something, where you just give a title, and then we are free to interpret that however we wanna do it, so that they could look completely different subjects, however you interpret that. Maybe kind of a fun title. I think that would be fun. The other thing was framing, not traditional framing, but I'd like to maybe talk about, have someone talk about
different ways you can create your art so that you don't have to invest in expensive things. Perhaps if you're doing on a canvas board, or Micho, you've done it with the resin, I know it's sloppy, but it's the, Karen Will's resin application on a Prino board, or double-sided spray adhesive, where you can just cut your work and then apply plexiglass. I think materials that you can use that don't require expensive
Frame and glass and.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm doing the same, I'm kind of going through that same thing right now, and like trying to find out ways to do that more cost efficient.
Right. It's not like we're cranking out a lot of
Yeah.
work every year, so I'm kind of a stickler on good framing, but I also can appreciate that it can get very expensive, especially if you're starting to go big. So I think it'd be cool to look at different ways to do that.
Thank you, Andy. Hi everybody, I'm Molly, your past president. First, I just want to say thank you, Susan, for taking over. You're doing an amazing job so far, and yeah, looking forward to the year coming. I have two things too, and I kind of things are going off in my head as everybody's talking. But to Michio's point about the OMS, I combine watercolors and colored pencils a lot. And watercolor pencils are great for like base layers, for your drawings, paintings, if you want to do a large area, right, which is kind of why you use OMS. So, or just regular watercolors, right? So if you're interested in a demo or something like that, probably an online demo, just let Susan know. Send an email to Susan, and I'd be totally open to doing a demo, maybe for our January or February, during the winter, right? We could do a Zoom thing. But, so I have all kinds of watercolor tools to make colored pencils go faster. That was my goal. And then the other thing is I'm also the current website designer. So we talked about having an online show, and having a theme is awesome. That's a great idea. So I'm totally open to creating an online show on our website. And if anybody has any ideas about that, or just any feedback about doing an online show, I would love to hear it. So if you want to send Susan an email, anything like that, or just, give feedback about doing an online show. But I think what you said was great about different themes, and then maybe we could even do a couple a year. That way we can show our art off more often, and people could get more inspired too by that. So anything to do with the website, feel free to email me or email Susan, and I am open. Ears are open, so thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Molly. Yeah, just responding to that, the Cpsa did online shows for a couple of years, so there's got to be some people from, I know you're not supposed to say national, but I'm going to say.
I do.
All right, okay, I won't get yelled at.
No.
Okay, national, they could maybe help with putting that on, and we've done critiquing with Tracy's help with putting the images, so the critiquer could see them. So it's possible to do it. And I'm liking the theme idea maybe for the exhibit project from a chapter. Maybe could be that might be a route to go. Yeah. Thank you. All right.
And I'm Joan Bredendick, and this is my third year working in colored pencil. And I just want to say that I was very appreciative of the email that came through either yesterday or today, because somehow I didn't put this in my calendar, and I'm from DeKalb, so it's a little trek and I have to do a little training. So I was very appreciative that I got that. And said, oh my gosh, just put the dogs in the crates and came. So thank you. Yeah, and all the ideas sound great. I don't have any
No, that's great, no, there's lots of great ideas, and I'm glad to hear many of them, because there are things that I've been thinking about, or Laura was thinking about, other presidents, right, I'm fresh off my first Color Pencil Society convention, and meeting other presidents, and so there's all sorts of wonderful ideas when you do that. Traditionally, we have, not had such good turnout after the first meeting of the fall, right? People are like excited, and then life is busy. And so our board had discussed, not having another meeting until January, which would be on Zoom, having a March meeting, and then a May meeting. And a March meeting would be a lot of show and tell, but I'm hearing so many great ideas that I'm like, well, maybe we need to meet more often. So I've been thinking about best locations, how formal to make the meetings, like maybe some meetings will simply be, a few people get together and we're drawing together. A few people get together and we're experimenting with, markers and a surface, or watercolors and a surface, or, there's a good weekend coming up and somebody's like, hey, maybe this is a good weekend to go outside and try solvents, right? It's not supposed to be very windy. I'm happy to facilitate those get-togethers. If people want to meet more often, that's awesome. But I know that it got frustrating for some of our board that it would just be the board members showing up to meetings. So, I'll take this back with our board, making sure that we're incorporating these ideas. But, I also know that the holiday season is busy, really busy for some people, and not very busy for other people, right? And so I'm happy to facilitate, again, these more informal gatherings that maybe, only have 3 or 4 people show up, but it's still open to our community to do something. I don't know what you guys think about that, but if you see an email, there's no pressure to come, but I do want it to be a very welcoming community, for everyone, okay? So some ideas that I got excited about at the, convention this summer were some possible happy hours. Could be online, could be in person, not necessarily with alcohol, but just an evening, late afternoon, evening get together. But if you want the alcohol, that's fine. We can do it online or in person. We could meet maybe at a local establishment. So that was just an idea I had. Also for our shows, one idea that I love, because I have a lot of abandoned, rejected art that I've started working on, I've gotten halfway through, and then I've stalled out. Something's not working, okay? I got really excited about it, and now I can't layer any more color pencil on it. Or I, just don't know what to do. I got to an interesting place, and now I'm like, I don't know. And then I get busy with other things. So, I was thinking about that. Our shows can be juried, they can be non-juried. We have a lot of options for those things. Online shows are going to be easier, right, and less expensive generally for us to do. And yeah, so just some things, additional things to think about. We do have the Cpsa show right now coming up, and they're accepting submissions until middle of November, I think it is. I know Tracy brought a piece to share later after our experimental session. I don't know if others have, but maybe you'll get some ideas playing around today. But we can also do shows that are mixed media or 100% colored pencil. It's really up to our chapter what kind of shows. Maybe we do multiple ones, especially if they're online, and we don't have to pay for a gallery space. I'm going to ask Emily in a moment to share with us our financial status. Because these are just things that we think about. Also, I'd like you to just think about if there's other locations you'd like to have meetings. I'm assuming those of you that made it here today, this is a good enough location, but if people have other ideas, you're like, hey, what about this place? Awesome. And so I am not on social media. Right, we have a website that Molly's managing, but I know some of you are on social media. So if you would like to do a little bit more with our social media accounts, please let me know. We'd love to have you get more involved promoting, our chapter online. Because that is not gonna be much fun. Okay, so let's see. Membership, Pam already spoke about how this is our membership renewal time. Membership, dues are due by November 1st. And you can renew on our chapter website, but you also need to be a member of the Cpsa national organization as well to be part of this chapter. We have forms up here, and if you have any questions or need help navigating the sites, just let me know. Did I cover everything, Pam? About membership? And then Emily, do you mind saying a couple words about our status?
So right now, we have about, we have $478.64 in the account. To help out that number, we have a raffle. So in the back are things that have been, they're all from pretty much like the Cpsa convention and freebies and different things from different companies. So there's a little bag back there, and tickets are $1 each. And you can buy more than one ticket, put more than one in a bag. You can buy 100 tickets and put them all in one bag if you feel like it, up to you. But have you write your name and phone number, just in case chaos happens and you have to run away or something. We can reach you if we pull the name and you're not here. But, you know, put in whatever bag for whichever thing you want, except for the lovely giant Lyra set. That one we're doing a silent auction because it is pretty big. And so that, just write your name, there's a little sheet in front, write your name, and your bid starts at 100 and then $5 increments. So we don't have somebody doing $100 in 1 cent. That person gets spent.
That's a $400 set.
Yes, it starts out as it is a $400 set, so think about that when you get it. I will be back there with change if somebody needs to make change. If you need like Venmo or PayPal, we can figure that out too. Credit card is the way I do PayPal.
Take your money anyway. Thank you. Oh, question.
If you want us to go back and look at stuff now and get the tickets or later?
We'll finish the initial meeting part of things here, but then yes, once we get set up and I'm getting the recording set up.
Awesome, thank you.
We'll draw at the end before everybody leaves.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, so I have just one more item on the business side of our meeting today, and then we will have an exploratory session that Tracy's offered to facilitate for us using various surfaces from Grafix Arts. So drafting film and Duralar, and we've got markers and some pencils back there if you didn't bring any. We'll do that for about an hour, and then we'll share if people are already working on pieces or explore this. And then we'll have the raffle drawing as we near our time together. So, hopefully everything's okay outside there. But, you know, I really, this would be so much harder of a task to be president of our chapter if Molly, our immediate past president, had not been such a fabulous president, remaking our website, reorganizing so many things that we do, and our board and our chapter is so appreciative of everything you've done, Molly, and so it is our pleasure to offer you a small token of our thank you. Our thanks.
It's really sweet.
Wow,
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, board.
yes. Yes, it's a gift card board, because we all can always find things to buy, right?
Thanks.
So like I said, I appreciate everyone's enthusiasm and all the things you want to try, and you know, our board will meet and we'll try to figure out some more times and just shout out some opportunities that hopefully touch on many, if not all, the things that you guys mentioned. So we'll do our best. In the meantime, yeah, check out our raffle in the back, and, Tracy, let's get set up for our session.
I attended, happy hour online with the San Jose chapter 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
It's like real informal, and it's not necessarily talking about color pens, you just kinda like, you know, people drinking, people playing, people they're kind of reconnecting with what they're doing. And maybe that, you know, that's kind of a good thing for us too, it only lasts for an hour, so, you know. We're all on pretty much on the same time zone, so yeah, it's something to look into.
Okay, yeah, we'll try that. I got an invitation to that this summer, and I haven't gotten one since, so yeah, I'll talk with you maybe about setting that up.
Well, and also as a board member, national board members are members of all chapters. So I started doing something different this year. I don't know if other board members on the national board do this or not. I'm starting to enter other chapters' shows, just kind of see how their shows run. The same thing with the happy hour. I kind of decided to start doing this because I get the invitation to do it. So let me just see how other chapters are handling stuff like this. Because a lot of other chapters are in the same position that we are, or they have a new president, or they're looking for something new to do. And the same thing, you get newsletters, don't you, from other chapters? I get newsletters from other chapters. Maybe that's something I should share with you then.
Okay. Yeah, I get a few that I've taken workshops with other chapters, and but I know some of our members have entered other shows and other places. So yeah, please forward that to me, and I'm happy.
A lot of those shows, like the show I entered was a Tennessee chapter show, and because it's a nonprofit, they do have to open up for everybody else. If anybody's ever interested in entering a show for another chapter, they can do that.
Awesome. All right.
Take their money.
Yeah. And I'm happy to also shout out, because if I get those emails, now that I understand how to use MailChimp, I will shout out all these other opportunities as they arise in our area or outside. It's an online show or something, Awesome. All right, give us just a few minutes to finish setting up for the session, and take a look in the back at all the goodies that we got.
Here, everything that I do on this film, I try to do on this film, it wasn't working. This is like a lot creamier, a lot brighter, a lot whiter, and I figured as I'm doing my drawing by subtraction, instead of the film showing through, which usually happens to me, I had this nice brightness showing through. I just couldn't seem to get it to happen because I couldn't get enough pigment on here. But I also played around with this with markers, and markers work really nice with this. Watercolor actually works nice with this too if you want to play around with it. Also, I was trying to do some mixed media on this where I would draw on this, and then I would stick it into a printer and actually print on this to see what would happen. And this actually could actually print on this. And then I would take the drawing after I printed the pattern over my drawing, I let it dry for a couple days, and then I sprayed it with like a word called fixative, so I could draw on top of it. That didn't work because what happened was it just softened everything up. It kind of blended everything together, so I had this soft drawing. So I'm still kind of playing around with Durbright. I'm not quite sold on it yet. She has.
Have you tried the Durbright Black?
I couldn't find it. I was hoping that maybe they would send.
Oh, they did?
They did.
Yep.
This one I'd like to try. This would be, I'm sure the marker.
I tried it once.
You tried markers on these?
I haven't tried all the other things. I'll try more things.
I'm gonna try
another time,
today
but I
too.
wasn't anxious to go back at it the next time.
I just
Just
tried
because
it.
of my own heavy hand.
I tried it with Durbright, the Inktense pencils, and it was really, I thought, oh, I'll draw fire, right? And I was like, yes, I'm drawing fire. And when I went to add water, it was a disaster. Everything I did, everything I worked on. So I was like, I hate that stuff. But I'm hoping that I learned something new today, so that I don't hate it, because it seems fun, it's sturdy, and if you do make a mistake, I mean, it will wash right off, right?
Yeah, it does, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So that's.
I would definitely work on it again, but it's not something I wanted to turn right around, I had to work at it.
So what we can do here, this is not really gonna be like a formal demonstration that you're gonna stand around or show you this, because you know me, I don't work in color, I don't know what these are. But, you know, it's pretty to play around with, I have a bunch of, I just print out a bunch of these that I print out for my students, my students just use these to start out with a color pencil drawing. If you want any of these to use as just a visual to play around with, you can. But I think all we're really gonna do is just grab some type of paper or the film that you want. You wanna play around with some markers or wanna see what it's like with the watercolor pencil. We have water here. This is kinda nice too, we have all these cubes here too, this is great.
There's two kinds of watercolor pencils, there's Prismacolor ones, and Prismacolor watercolor, these are just some general, whatever, really general watercolors, and then different kinds of Prismacolors, and some markers Tracy brought, too, and just a few brushes, so, yeah.
But if we all do something different, then we're gonna find something that we can use, obviously. Also, the Lyra pencils I left open. I left open because I want somebody to take them home with them. And if you want to take one of them out to play around and see how it feels, if you've never used them before, go ahead, that's what they're there for. Any questions? No, sure, any answers for you?
If you take a cup of water to your table, just take a sheet of paper towel with you, just in case there's a little accident or anything, so you don't make a mess in the library. Thank you. Yeah, don't be shy. Yeah, I think there's just one sheet, attached, so just take a,
These were sent to us from the owner of Grafix. We're trying to get her as one of our sponsors for the national show. They used to be at one time.
Yeah.
yeah, I tried it there.
Better behave yourself.
Yeah. I wasn't sure the rest of
Yeah, that's right.
Make an announcement.
See one laying around, because I
wrote my name down.
Yeah.
If somebody made me piece it up in front of us.
I tried to work on it, and because I was gonna mark on it.
One thing I've learned is as I teach my workshops, drafting film, you can't use the same pressure on film as you're used to on paper.
Yeah.
When I touch the film, I barely touch it, you barely even see your stroke on the paper, and you just keep building up more and more. Yeah, because it doesn't have the texture as paper, so it's less forgiving. So if you say that you can get 50 layers on Stonehenge paper, you can only get 2 or 3 layers of film. And then that's why you put over the back, and you use the back to keep the
I just use it every time.
Yeah.
Field painting, then it's.
You like stone paper? You can do stone paper. Yeah. Now, when you work on both sides of this, film, you really have to kind of look at your drawings and decide what color you're going to put on the back. And then goes up to the back of the front. Now, for me, I only want black and white. My darkest areas yeah. Now, if you're doing a portrait, it's a very good idea on the back of it. If you're dark skin and brown, really show start putting a little flatter on top of that. Without really lighting up yeah, like I say, clean it out. From the back.
Feel like this. On my drawing table, there's all these others. I am so spoiled with there's nothing more exciting than in a place where we're getting the okay, going to the store, you know,
States, so we would Ames, that's where it is.
Yeah, I know.
With color, that's orange, okay. Now, okay, listen, so when it's a color pencil, when it's a color, do you still use red pencil? There's no colors on here.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of good things. Yeah, I wish I knew. I don't know if they show now.
Oh, nice. Even cheaper than I don't and you can be there and like take care of it too, quicker.
Oh my God.
I should have noticed.
Where was the head? Okay.
Next year is Bethesda.
Oh, it's in Maryland? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, my niece lives there.
And I was there last weekend with my kids.
For your. But she lives So I just, when my rate's been there, well, for next year, I know we'll be here late, I spend time with them. That makes my drive go.
Yeah, I feel like the show.
Yeah, I always work with
It is fun, I had never gone to a show before. I was like, wow.
It's amazing.
I bet to see
It was amazing, it was amazing to see the different.
Yeah, I
some things are
Right. That's my favorite
Oh, so, you know what, I didn't enter this year, that, as I'm thinking of it, I didn't work, yeah, anything new, that's right, yeah.
So, it's all, it really makes it,
Well, you never know.
yeah, I mean,
No, you don't.
Oh, there were pieces that were,
And to show the full range.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what
So, there were pieces that were. Wow.
But I
also like that style of art, like the sheep. They're like, oh, I wish I could have put on something. Oh, sure. So a lot of people are totally into it, really, and that's what they saw a lot. Like, Arrow talked about how she had put her piece, Erin, our founder, she set a piece in and it wanted to show that she was open to any artist. And when it first came in, she had no idea it was prestigious. And then she said this is a local color pencil thing, and it didn't get me. It allowed me to show and allow me to explore. So she's like, you just never know.
there was one year when, I think it might have been Bernard Fallon, I'm not sure. You know, I mean, he is, at that time, was the name in color pencil. And I remember his picture at the convention wearing a t-shirt that says, "I survived rejection." And I think there's the attitude, you know, that's the attitude to take no matter what. I have local ones, man, I don't know anything beyond that, because they were a pain in the neck.
You really just go with your gut, find a lot of process, sometimes going back and a couple of changes, and then you just start to, you just got some questions, you know.
Yeah, you make those first cuts, and then that's, in the end, you're going, well, and that's what happens with this show too, with the international, you could pull 3 top shows out in a year.
Yes.
So sometimes it's a matter of, I've got 30,000 pictures for this subject, I think I'm gonna take this one instead, in spite of the fact that you really, maybe you like this piece really well, but there's just too much. You know, you're also trying to make a show that the public will not get it. And,
No, right, of course, yeah.
so there are so many variants in what you have to think. Some years, Cpsa did, at least twice, their Saturday morning event was, a mock jury. And they had, Ron Bernard Fallon did one, you know, explaining how this jury process goes. Those were, wonderful things to see. Yeah. But, you know, it's just like, it is. Yeah. Rejected a lot.
I accepted a lot, you know, but you kind of have to get tough. When I was young and I get rejection, I can just remember I'm going out and just be there and feel so sorry for myself. You know, it's like,
I have a friend, Laura Miller Allen, who is an international watercolor artist. And she has the best attitude, the one that I always tell my students about right off the bat. She hangs, well, at that point, there were still paper acceptances or rejections, so they weren't all online. But she hangs both the acceptances and the rejections in her studio bathroom. She says they're all equal. And that's the attitude I try to, it makes sense to go back home with. It really is, and it doesn't matter how many international awards you have, you're still gonna get those rejections. There used to be an online gallery that had a lot of, and every piece you submitted was just. Yeah, well, it was usually, email them back, they're like, that's what you have. But anatomy needs work was one of them, they did the t-shirts too, so you can get a shirt that said epilogue on the back, anatomy needs work. And we were actually.
This is my wife.
That's great.
This is my wife right here. And if I
There's two kinds.
so if I really want to find
4 layers. So it's subtle. I wonder what, I haven't tried layering pencil on my marker to see if that would change things up. I mean, yours are pretty, I mean, they're still showing up.
They took a lot of white down first. Yes.
I see, Emily in the back there, if people wanna drop in a few more raffle tickets or bid on the silent auction, we got a few more minutes. So.
I'm gonna start bringing them up front here in a moment, just so that it's all up front and easier to draw. I'm gonna bring them up front and just line them up there for when we draw.
Oh, okay. Or we can all just turn around.
Alright, fine. We'll just turn around.
Yeah, I know we've got at least one show and tell for today. How many people brought something that they're working on to explore this? We got 1, 2, anyone else? Yes, 3 in the back?
Old lady books.
Alright, any other comments about the, Anything people wanna share? I think Jen had a nice thing on it.
I don't want to outbid myself.
Yeah. White.
Yeah. The black, not so much.
Black, not so much.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, David, you were trying to say something about it. Oil pastel. Oil pastel is a great idea. Other comments? Oh, the Hammer really.
No.
Well, some people are just excited to have no conversations, so that's all right. Why don't we, look at stuff for Explore This, we just have 2, maybe 3 people, and then we'll finish with the raffle in about 10 to 15 minutes, right at the very end.
Yeah.
Okay, who would like to go first? David? You've been down here, the floor is yours. And tell us, what kind of feedback you would like us to provide you.
You can do everything you want to. Which I've never marked on before. But I put this, I used gold leaf on the back behind some of the leaves, and then drew on the front. You don't get the metallic look, but it is different than just, it made it different. And so therefore it is only available for, Explore This. But this is kind of the beginning of a, Mother Nature series, I think.
Okay, sorry, this is cool.
And this is, Grafix, film.
The graphic film. Okay, and you put the gold leaf on the front. Put the gold leaf on the front.
Behind a couple of the leaves, a few of the leaves in the back, I was hoping I could just use the leaf and not have to draw more to make them look like they were far away, and that didn't work, so I drew on the front too, but, only mostly babies and stuff like that, but I
or just the leaf drawn on both sides, the pencil on both sides. They did about everything.
It's the first of, I mean, this,
Oh, look at that, go away from
this is,
that.
you know, this will be the next one in the series, but it won't be, I'm trying to keep this one pure pencil. And it's not as far along as that one is. I don't know, they were just fun to work on. You know? When you use yourself as a model, you don't have to be kind. You can just relax, you can have fun. Well, I mean, I had one model, the one with the quilts, who, you know, was very relaxed and would love for me and make all these faces. She's another artist, and I was comfortable drawing whatever I wanted to with her. But, you know, it takes something to find the person who is comfortable with that, and I don't wanna hurt anybody's feelings. When I wanna just have a somewhat devilish fun, I use myself.
Dana, what inspired? Dana, what inspired your Mother Nature series?
Well, I knew I wanted something with expression. I wanted to draw people, and basically, it was getting the, you know, the reference photos, which I lay back in the bed, spread my hair out, and took selfies with every expression I was giving them, and when I saw the photos, then they kind of led me to what I might do, because I saw the hair, that was up to my leaves, and it just evolved.
You remember Sheila?
Yeah,
She won an award for her portrait of Mother Nature.
years ago, I remember that piece, it had so much
Yeah.
going on in it, one
Yeah,
all I work, I love the ones that I did. Of the cat,
yeah.
I did a workshop for the, I know all the nice thing about, down here once in,
You know, people are passing around, piece, so if you have feedback for Dana, let her know. I think in the meantime, Tracy has a piece he'd like to share with us. Tell us about
This is actually a prototype that I started. I did this whole drawing, had the wings and everything. It's about much bigger than this. And I got to the point where like, what am I gonna do with it? And I thought, well, I can use it for explore this. So I started looking into ways to use it for explore this. I even actually talked with Dave on the phone about, you know, how easy it is to do the gold leaf. And so I started throwing out some ideas, and I thought about, so I came up with this idea here, and I started doing it on the computer and cropping it and throwing the wigs here, and I actually put a frame together and everything on, you know, that. Maybe that's the way I'll go with this. So I ended up having to take a grid and lay it on my drawing so I could cut out exactly where I wanted it to. And then I sent my drawing to my framer, and he's actually framing the actual drawing. So what I want to do is, before I finish it, I wanted to make a prototype first. And this is the prototype. This is much smaller than the original. And so I started working with different applications of little jewels to put on the drawing. I actually, on the actual drawing, I actually strung pearls around her neck, and they're actually fastened through the drawing and fastened to the back. She has this belt on, she has this on. This actually crown here, I found online that once I get the drawing back, framed, I'll put that in place. I'm actually framing it pretty much like this, where there's no glass here at all. The frame that I put it on has a lot of texture to it. So hopefully it'll kind of lend itself to the drawing. So I'm gonna put her crown on, and then I'm starting playing around with actual feathers that I'm putting forward coming out of the crown. And then I have the wings that I cut off of the original drawing that I'll probably set up similar to this and attach them to the frame. I may have to mount them on, they're already on wrapped in film, mounted on paper. So they're stiffer than this, but I may put it on something a little bit heavier to make them stiffer, so they stay out. But it's, you know, I kind of had fun because I found actually stuff as I walked the dog. I find jewelry on the ground all the time. I found earrings, I found necklaces, I found rings. I actually found, it's called a ring watch. I found one of those that I'm thinking about, once that drawing comes back, I'm gonna see if maybe somehow I can incorporate this ring watch in the drawing too. I'm about doing something a little bit different. Usually my Explorer Disc drawings are usually color pencil, and I'll throw charcoal, or I'll throw ink or something on it. So this time I decided to do something a little more out there, a little more applique, a little more fresh.
How big is your original?
The original one is actually about this high, and much wider, yeah.
Tracy, if you're framing that with nothing over it, is all of your, pencil work
Yeah.
on the back?
No, the pencil work's on the front, it's sprayed.
Oh.
Yeah, it's sprayed.
Okay.
But as I'm looking at this, because I've, have all these applications on here, and on the original one, all I need this to do is be able to take it to Osio Brown when I'm done and have them shoot it for me for the Explore This show. If it all comes apart after that, I don't care. I don't know what to do with it after that.
Well, you win though, don't you have to bring it to the.
Yeah, I probably would, yeah. You may have to send it, yeah. You may have to send it to, this year they didn't do that at the show. Not quite sure why, maybe because the Brea Gallery, we usually have over 100 and some pieces at the Brea Gallery, but what they have done is they chopped off the gallery and made this children's area where children go in and draw on the wall. So we lost a lot of real estate for pieces to show us in the Brea Gallery. And they were really fun to work with too. Yeah, they got a new person running it, and she just was terrible to work with. But they did a huge job of promoting the show on social media. They had somebody come in and actually do a painting on the windows. If you didn't get to go to the show, you walk through the show, and they just kind of had a history of color pencil art signage around the show. So they did a beautiful job.
I don't want to be the one that has to photograph that.
Well, see, as a rule, I don't photograph any of my work, because I've tried that for years, and I have to wait for a day where there's no sun outside, and still when I take it out there, there's so much glare, that I take it to Osio Brown over in Elmhurst, and he shoots all my stuff, and it turns out perfectly, and I don't worry about it.
This is gonna be a challenge you can do that.
He'll do it, he'll be able to do it. I'll use either a matte or a semi-varnish, or a semi-gloss, yeah. I've also found out too, I had a drawing that I did earlier in the year that sold at a show, or at a gallery show, and the gallery owner who bought it said, oh, there's a speck on the glass, what is that? And it turned out that the drawing was touching, the printer had touched the drawing to the glass, and it pulled off some of the varnish. And as we took it out of the frame, it pops from the varnish out, so that's pop marks. And this piece is already sold. And so what I did was, I went back in with sandpaper, very super fine sandpaper, and lightly sanded the varnish till it was flat. And then start building up the varnish back up again, very slowly, but at the same time, I was redrawing this drawing. And it took me a good month to do, and I had two identical drawings when I was finished. One was the original drawing, it was all fixed, and the varnish and everything looked perfect. Put it inside 2 pieces of cardboard, run it back over to the framer to have them reframe it. Went home, started eating lunch, got a call from the framer. The cardboard stuck to the varnish. Oh, kidding. So I went back over there, and sure enough, the cardboard was stuck on the varnish. So I pulled the cardboard off, and then I took it down the basement and resanded the varnish, and cleaned it all up, and then resprayed it, and an hour later, I was back over at the framer like nothing happened. But then I had an extra drawing, and when I went to the gallery owner and said, hey, here's your original drawings, all fixed, perfect, and everything, but because of what had happened, here's the identical drawing, it's yours, you can do anything you want with it. Well, what he ended up doing was, one of his artists in the gallery had just lost his wife, and he gave him that extra drawing as a gift. Well, in turn, I met that artist, he's a potter, a ceramist, and he met us for dinner one night, and he actually gave me one of his ceramic pieces as a gift for doing this drawing. So,
Tracy, what kind of, how did you affix the jewels to that, the sparkle?
Oh,
what kind of glue or?
no, actually, these here come on these sheets. They already have adhesives on the back. You give them a Dick Licks. I started going through the craft aisle like Dick Licks. The crown here, I have double stick tape on the back because I want to be able to pull it back off to see how it fits on the original drawing. And then the feathers have double stick tape. I tried using spray mounts, but they wouldn't stick. So yeah, all the feathers are with double stick tape.
And you have a varnish over the draft, that was on drafting film?
Yeah, it's on drafting film, but there's a varnish on it too, yeah.
Thank you. All right, well, I'm excited to see how these pieces continue to evolve, and if others have, pieces coming up, let me know. Maybe we'll do a little, email or a little online something of what people submit to for the show. So yeah, but we're coming up towards the end of our time together, and I know many of you participated in our raffle. So Emily.